you can just buy the car and you get the pink slip on it and own it, whatever you want. Well, we were kind of broke, so we took the cash. And so we asked them to take the cash and the bonus check and put them in one check, and that second check was for $50,400 that second month. So in the first 2 months, we had made $72,500 just in the wholesale part of the business. And we were sitting there going, how did we do that? How did that happen? It happened so quick, sometimes you don't even know what happened. And so I basically just showed you how it happened. We approached people, we did product demonstrations, we got explanations about the compensation plan, and they said yes or no, or they bought something. So I think sometimes we make this thing really complicated, and it doesn't have to be that complicated. But the magic is really in doing the numbers and what your intention is with those numbers. Our intention out the door was to sponsor those people, period. That's what we wanted. That's what we were after. And of course, obviously out of 226, we only sponsored 23 of those people. So we didn't even get 10%. But we also got 54 customers in that whole first spurt. So there was a lot of business done at that time. So hope that makes some sense to you, because most of you are probably scared of that. I don't want you to be afraid of that. I want you to know that we didn't have a job. We had nothing else to do. We didn't work on Sundays, but every other day was wide open. We just worked 8 to faint every single day. How many people are willing to work 8 to faint every day to get the job done? Very few people. That's why there's very few people at the top in anything. So I'm telling you right now, there isn't anybody who couldn't do what we've done. No one. Everybody out there can do what we've done. It's not about your education, because we don't have one. At least I don't. And a lot of you have if I was there, I could say, raise your hands. I want to see how many of you have a degree in college. How many of you graduated? And there'll be a good percentage of you. And I'd say, you know what? You could do it too. Because it's not about that. It's not about the lack of education. It's not about your education. It's not about your spiritual life. It's not about any of those things. It's about your desire to make something happen. Now, obviously, in my opinion, a strong spiritual life really counts. But it's not about your religion, which one you belong to. It's not about any of those things. It's about you and your desire level to make something happen. For me, it's all about this word right here. Now, excuse my handwriting. That says magic. Okay? Wonders of video. Magic. That's a C. Okay? What's the magic? Sincerity and enthusiasm. If you've got enthusiasm and you're sincere about what you're doing, you will attract people. You absolutely will attract people. You don't have to know everything. Just be willing to put your upline in front of as many people as you possibly can and let them take care of it for you for a while until you know how to do it yourself. That's about how simple that is. Okay? Now, let's keep moving. Let's say that now we're sitting in front of your person. We've set up the one-on-one appointment, or the coffee shop appointment, or whatever. Maybe where it is doesn't really make a difference. And the first thing I do is I pull out my life cycle plan. And I've got several of them here, but I pull out my life cycle plan, and I say, in this case, you've got Nick sitting here. I say, hey, Nick, before we get started, would you mind if I share with you some of the reasons we got involved in NECAN?
Sure.
You wouldn't mind, would you?
No.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And so nobody does. I've never had anybody say, no, I'm not interested. That's not what they do, And so I just pull this thing out, and I lay it on the table, and like everybody does, Nick, you can do this. I'll just put it over here. You can't follow me over here, you guys. But the first thing anybody does is they take a look at the life cycle plan from left to right and kind of glance at the pictures on there and things like that. And I just spend a little bit of time with them explaining what's on that thing. People say, well, that's my family in the middle there. That's obviously very, very important to me. There's a picture of Christ there. That's obviously very important to me. My spiritual life and my family life are the most important things in my life. We talk about that for a few minutes. I say why they're there. On the left side of the life cycle plan, the 5 pillars of health are there. Healthy mind, healthy body, healthy family, healthy society, healthy finances. That's what's on the side of the life cycle plan. It's right there for you. And so I say to people, you know what, most companies I've ever dealt with have one philosophy. That's make money and stay in business. And that's what they do. And that's what their philosophy really is. They may have a grandiose mission statement, but their philosophy basically is stay in business. Our philosophy are those things. And that rang with me. I don't know about you guys, but that resonated with me something. When I heard the 5 pillars of health, that resonated with me personally, and I know it's resonated with my wife as well and many other people. So when you hear that, I can tell that person that, then I can say this key thing, because I'm not going to spend a lot of time there on that life cycle plan, but I'm going to say to Nick Riddle or whoever else it is, I said, Nick, now we're not going to do this live right here, but if you had one of those, how would yours look different? And that opens up, Nick, to a whole new thought process. Well, that's mine. How would yours look different? Well, gee, I'd have a different car on it. I'd have a different vacation. Now, I've got a private jet on there. I'm absolutely spoiled rotten. I was on 2 private jets all last summer, and oh my goodness, it was Delta Airlines just doesn't look as good as it used to. And you know, the private jet's the way to travel, so I put a private jet on there. You know, because I think a group of us can afford a private jet. So we get to that point, we'll have a private jet. I want to spend time like family. There's pictures of the family on there. And so I want them now to tell me. People say, I don't know how to get somebody to talk to me. That's how you do it. Bob Proctor says in the Lead Field program, and everything I've ever heard him say, that people think in pictures. We think, our mind thinks in pictures. We see things in our mind. And so we put pictures in front of them, and then we say, how would yours look different? So we talk about their goals and their dreams a little bit. Then then we bring out some product, something you can do. Not if you're in my house, we can do the whole situation. But if you're at the coffee shop or something like that, you know, you bring some product along you can do demonstrations with. Mag boys, strength tests, things like that. Things you can do, get their attention with at the table, or things you should bring with you to those situations. Now, in my little pitch, I said, first thing we're going to talk about is the product. We'll show a little bit about the product line, and then we'll talk about the money and how that works, and how you do fit in. Now, I want to spend some time with that because I think it's really, really important. Oftentimes, people take a copy of the compensation plan and put it down on the table and open it up, and oh my goodness, it's just blinding. Colors and numbers and all this stuff. I think most people understand the marketing plan really good after they start getting checks. That's when they really start to understand, oh, that's how that works, and that's how this happens and all that. But until then, I'm going to show you how I explain it. And Brody asked me to do it this way. We're going to put this, in fact, there's the gentleman behind the camera right here, Jeff Smalley, and I are working on a situation where we can actually put this up so you can actually use this, because I think it makes a lot of sense, because it shows people there's work to do, it shows some numbers, it shows them how long it's going to take. I don't want to play games with somebody's mind. I want them to know what it's going to take to do this. So let's get started with that. Draw a triangle. In fact, if you want to, while you're there in the audience, just draw along with me. It'll make sense to you if you draw along with me here. And so draw a triangle on a piece of paper. At the top of that triangle, a real dark circle there. That simply stands for a focal point. You know, a lot of people talk about Zig Ziglar and other great trainers of the world, but you know, they always say that if you help enough other people succeed in life, you'll get what you want out of life. Well, that's right. That's true. But when you first sign that application and you get involved in NECAN, who's in the business with you? Just you. It's you. And so it's okay to focus on you. That's my point of that right there. This focal point means we're going to zero in on you and your business to begin with. The magic number in NECAN, I don't care what anybody tells you, this is absolute fact, is the number 30. That is the magic number in NECAN. Now, we know that once we got 30 people to look at the business opportunity, look at the products, and go through all the steps that it takes to make a good, intelligent decision for themselves, we know what's going to happen with those 30 people. We absolutely know that by the numbers. What we don't know, the number that we don't know, the unknown number, is how many people you've got to talk to get 30 people to go through all that. Okay, we don't know that number. It might take you 100. It might take you 30. I doubt it highly. But if we don't know that number, once you got 30 through, we're going to talk about that number. All right? Now, out of every 30 people that take a look at everything in this business, you're going to have 10 people, on average, just flat out say, no thanks. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to buy anything. They're non-participatory. They don't want to do anything. Okay? Another 10 will say, you know what? I don't know if I want to do this business or not, but boy, I like those products. Can I buy that pillow? Can I get those mag steps? Can I have the body energizer? What? Yeah, wow, absolutely. There's all types of things. So on average, you're going to get 10 customers. Okay, 10 customers. And then another 10 will then become wellness consultants. So out of every 30 people, on average, it's 8 to 12, averaging 10. 10 will say no. You'll get 10 customers and 10 wellness consultants. Now this is the basis for the entire conversation right here. It's the duplicating of this over and over and over again. All right? So out of this 10 people here, the no's don't count. They're not doing anything. They're not buying anything. They're not contributing. They can still be your friends, of course, but they're not contributing anything to your business, so they just don't count for this conversation. The customers count, but they're not very predictable. We don't know what they will do. They might buy a mini that costs $14. They might buy a bed that costs $1,000. We don't know what they're going to do. Not very predictable. However, the wellness consultants, on the other hand, extremely predictable. You know, in the session we held with the leadership group earlier, I talked about Reid's requirements. Well, in Reid's requirements, if somebody identifies themselves as a business builder, we require them to have a demo and a career pack. absolutely require that of them. If they're going to build a business, they're going to have the tools of the trade. Well, if you had 10 people in 1 month get a demo pack and a clear pack, you know, you'd have 30,000 points. You know, it has a double PV with it. It's carrying a double PV. And so it's a pretty exciting thing. 3,000 points just to get them started. You have 10 of those a month, you'd have the silver done. Silver takes 20,000 points in a month to do. Well, if you had 10 people in 1 month do a demo and a career pack, and that's all they did, you would have more than that 20,000 points that's required. Now, what we don't know is if it's in width or if it's in depth or something like this. Now, for the sake of conversation, I'm talking about width because I'm guaranteeing you right now, most people do not have enough width. They find 1 or 2 good ones and they sit on them, and all of a sudden they break these 2 legs out and they have nothing left. Everything's broken away from them in silvers and they don't have any width. Do not stop sponsoring people till you're at least 21 seniors or above in your width. 21 seniors or above in your width.